Um, so on my show, I had Mike Supervivi on from Wrestling Observer Live, he's one of the best guys I know that covers Japanese wrestling. And something we talked about was the simple fact, look, as 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 fun as the matches are, as fun as we see what we see on Dynamite, Rampage, whatever, AEW product is cold right now. New Japan product is cold right now. We also saw, you mentioned Tanahashi, and look, I love Tanahashi. I got to meet him in 2018 when he was at Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor in New Orleans. Got a liner from him, by the way, which is really cool. I love Hiroshi Tanahashi. He needs to retire. I hate to say that,
Mhm.
but it was so evident in that trios match with the Acclaimed. He can barely move. I mean, he's fallen in the same thing that Keiji is had to deal with his knees being practically gone. Tanahashi's getting that same way.
Yeah.
Same thing with Naito.
Yep.
Moxley and Naito. Look,
That
and
match was not good.
Dustin even mentioned, he talked about it. It wasn't. And Mox did everything he could, but again, New Japan has got to start bringing up these young guys quick. And that's Shota Umino. That's Ren Narita. You know, they got to get them they got to get those guys in the main event spot. You got the G1 that's kicking off. We got 6 months until Wrestle Kingdom, and then they announced this Wrestle Dynasty on January 5th with AEW, Ring of Honor, CMLL, and Stardom. They got to get these young guys up and quick if they want to bring that fan base back. And it was evident at Forbidden Door. It was just it was a
Yeah.
pagan.
Yeah. And I think, and you speaking of the problem New Japan has there, that boy, you gotta wonder if Tony is paying too much respect to the legends and by booking them on these cards at this point. But then at the same time, now what do you do next year? Let's say you kind of start sliding these guys off to the side. Well, now you've got all these younger guys that are going to be coming up that the American fans just aren't going to know who they are. They're not going to know them.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have a lot of time to develop the stories that you're going to need. And the thing is, part of the fascination with Forbidden Door in the first place was you were getting guys like Okada in there, and so just just a couple of names. Trying to think who else.
Well, but the problem is
I'm totally blanking.
that's okay.
Like
But
Shibata and Takeshita, like
well,
those guys. Those guys, it's like, oh my god, they're here. Well, now they're in AEW.
yes,
So
exactly.
the fascination of them coming over is gone because they're in AEW now.
Yeah.
So what do you do with this with Forbidden Door at this point? It's because really there's no Forbidden Door with CMLL or anything like that. So this card is going to be really tricky next year when they try to put this together, I think.
Not enough fans know like Mystico from CMLL or Hechicero or any of those guys. Almost everybody's forgotten when Mystico was in WWE. Well, I don't even remember what his name was, but it was. You're right. The big stars in New Japan, Osprey, Okada, Shibata. Now they're in AEW. We
Yep.
see them every week on Dynamite, on Rampage, on Collision. So yeah, that thrill is gone.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, Tanahashi he's got to find a way to step away. Naito, I think, might be in the same boat. So then, like you said, what happens when they start, planning Forbidden Door next year? With hopefully with the younger guys. And look, Shingo is still Shingo. Ishii is
And
still. I mean, he's not bad.
yeah,
Although
he's starting to lose a step, but
he is.
yeah, Shingo was great. The match of Danielson and Shingo was amazing. That was a terrific match.
Yeah. So
Yeah, this
I
is
don't
gonna
know.
be this is gonna be a trick, and the other thing is too is that I'm kind of surprised they're doing a card over in Japan too. I suppose it's kind of tit for tat over there, but at the same time, now you're really taking away from what made Forbidden Door special because you're doing it over there too. So it's the
Well,
uniqueness of the card is gone a little bit. I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong, I
yeah,
get it,
you got
but
to
at
give
the
it. You got
same
to give it that.
time,
Yeah.
you're doing it twice. You know, you're
Right.
don't do the same gag twice.
Well, but at least this one will be mostly under the New Japan banner.
Right.
So this isn't necessarily an AEW pay per view. It's a New Japan event, but they're going to include Stardom, CMLL, AEW, Ring of Honor. So yeah, and it was it was asked. I think it was asked in the press conference. Tony asked, I think at one time, we've had Forbidden Door here. This was number 3, I think. When does Japan get an event with AEW stars? Well, here we go.
There you go.
But it's so funny they're using the Wrestle Dynasty. That was actually the name of an event they were going to do in August of 2020 at Madison Square Garden before the pandemic hit.
Oh, that's right. I
In
forgot about
fact, hold
that.
on.
Oh, Stu's digging for something here. Stu's got a souvenir. Stu Myrick, everybody. There it is.
That
There
was
you
the button.
go.
That was the button for a
So
Wrestle Dynasty that was going to be in Madison Square Garden in August. That was right after G1 Supercard happened in 2019 at the Garden, which I got to cover, which was fantastic. So yeah, they're bringing back the Wrestle Dynasty thing. Now they get to have it in Japan. So
yeah,
I'm okay with that, but
we'll see how it turns out. So
I mean, the kicker is
uh,
going to be how they figure out that card after doing Wrestle Kingdom. Who do they put on Wrestle Kingdom from AEW? Because they usually have
a couple,
foreigners.
yeah.
So how do they balance that and still keep Wrestle Kingdom the premier event for New Japan?
Yeah, now welcome to the world of crossovers that everybody wanted the crossovers, but now when you have a cross promotion matches and you're bringing in guys from different places, how do you work all this out? There's booking and logistical issues that everybody needs to take into account, and it sounds fun and it's nice to do it as a one-time thing, but as you dig deeper into this, you keep doing it and crossing those lines more and more, it gets way more intricate than anybody realizes. So this will be some intriguing tests for everybody putting all these relationships together.